Well, Gary, when you had such a good start at the start of the season, you said you don't get too carried away with the highs. Has that been equally so at the opposite end of the spectrum in recent weeks?
Unfortunately, yes. We've been disappointed with the outcomes in the last 3 league games, but it's about working with the players still and keeping the spirits up. Which, to be fair to them, you only have to look at how they performed last Saturday. They kept coming back. They didn't feel sorry for themselves and got back into the game twice. And that's a good characteristic to have, the spirit and the character that they show.
Obviously, a phrase you mentioned a lot last year was ownership and responsibility, and it worked out well. Has that been something that you've reiterated with the players this season?
Yes, and especially this week. I think there's, you look at the manner of the goals that we conceded last week, which the players themselves now they weren't good enough in that context. So, we've talked about it this week about being more responsible and taking ownership for it, and they've been good.
And in terms of changing that, does that come with repetition on the training ground as well and hammering that sort of thing home?
Yeah, you can't stress enough the importance of the work that you do on the grass, and we've tried to ask them to play a different way this season, which they have done, and they've took to that well. Now we've just got to tighten up, in both boxes, and if we can be a little bit better in both boxes, then it gives us an opportunity on Saturday.
It's been tough without a full spine in the team in the last few weeks. What's the latest with injuries ahead of this weekend?
Well, the good news is that Carl Vassell's trained this week. So we're hoping he comes through today's session, and then he'll go into the squad for the weekend, which would be great for him because going back to his old club. And then Clark Robertson's come out the boot and started jogging a little bit this week. So that's pleasing news, but we're not going to rush him because you've got to be really careful with those. With the bones, so we'll make sure that he's done properly, and then they're just trying to work on 1 or 2 as well. But part and parcel of football. The disappointing thing for me is that when there has been an opportunity that from an attacking point of view, no one's really gone and other than Danny Philliskirk in the two cup games to put a case forward.
You never had to question the character in your dressing room. As you said, He was there last weekend. But in terms of Peterborough this weekend, although you do strengths and weaknesses of opposition, is it more about the response from your side?
Yeah, indeed, I think it is, and how we go there and how we perform. We want to go and put on performance and get back to winning ways as quickly as possible.